1:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Niranjan Abhisundara. The Prime Minister says that a clear plan is needed for the state and private sector to overcome the challenges. Landslide warnings issued for 4 districts, fishing and naval communities alerted of rough seas and high winds. Opposition leaders say that the Samagdanavalagya is the only alternative for the country. Many paddy varieties that can be reaped high harvest have been introduced. It has been stated that opportunities have been made to achieve many victories to the country. 20th session of the Joint Commission between Sri Lanka and the European Union will be convened tomorrow. In world news, Indian Kerala, at least 21 dead as the boat capsizes. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that a clear plan is needed for the state and private sector to overcome the challenges. He made his comment while participating at 55th anniversary of the Sena Institute Limited, held at the Foundation Institute in Colombo this morning. Sri Lanka is a significant island in the sea line of the world. He also said that he is glad to note that the Institute has initiated a clear plan for the development of the future. The Sena Institute is expected to implement a new program to produce fishing boats with the use of new technologies. The fish harvest obtained from the sea around the country should be managed properly. The Prime Minister also made his well-wish to the Institute for moving forward march for the development of the fishing industry. The next 5-year plan for the Sena Institute was handed over to the Prime Minister. The National Building Research Organization has cautioned that there is a risk of landslides in 4 districts due to the prevailing heavy rains. NBRO has issued warning level 1 alert for several areas in Badulla, Kagalla, Mathale and Galle districts, effective from 9 a.m. today to 9 a.m. tomorrow. Those as risk areas are Passara in Badulla district, Nagala, Yakalamulla, Badegama and Alpiti in Galle district, Bavanalla, Galigama, Rabukkana, Yatyantata, Dharaniagala and Kagalla in the Kagalla district and Palipala in the Mathale district. Meanwhile, Department of Meteorology has issued a warning for multi-day fishing vessels and naval vessels sailing in the south-eastern Bay of Bengal Sea area. This warning will be in effect till 3 p.m. today. A low-level atmospheric disturbance has developed over the southeast Bay of Bengal area, and this system will gradually develop into a low-pressure area and then into a cyclonic storm in the next few days. Met Department forecasts said that alerting the fishermen and naval communities. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says that the Samagdanavalagya is the only alternative for the country. During the history of 75 years, the country's opposition tried to obtain the state power by organizing on electoral level. As there is no power, the opposition have fulfilled an extensive service on behalf of the people. He made his remarks while addressing a meeting in Monoragala under the theme of the Victory Tour yesterday. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Digital accounts can now be opened in 10 minutes. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that the Paddy Research Institute of the Department of Agriculture has introduced many paddy varieties that can be reaped high harvest. He made the remark when he met the new representative of Sri Lanka of the United Nations Development Programme, Ashusa Kubota. They discussed the present situation of the agricultural sector in the country. Former Minister Navin Disanayake said that opportunities have been made to achieve many victories to the country by participation of President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the Commonwealth Leaders meeting. The President had discussions with many state leaders. Therefore, the possibility to obtain support of all countries to increase the country's economy have been created. The main task of the President is to re-establish the country. He made the remarks while participating at a media briefing held at the UN headquarters of Sirikota this morning. The 20th session of the Joint Commission between Sri Lanka and the European Union will be convened tomorrow at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Colombo. The meeting will be co-chaired by Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Sri Lanka, Aruni Vijayawardena, and Deputy Managing Director for Asia and the Pacific of the European External Action Service of the EU, Paola Pampolini. The Joint Commission will deliberate on broad range of bilateral and multilateral issues of mutual interest to both sides and discuss areas for future cooperation. That was local news.
Debit card, mobile and internet banking, and cardless cash accounts can now be opened in just 10 minutes with no form filling with People's Bank Digital Banking.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Department of Motor Traffic decided to blacklist the vehicles that have not obtained revenue licenses for 5 years and to remove them from the information system of the department. Making a special statement, Motor Traffic Commissioner General Nishant Anuruddha said that although 8.3 million vehicles have currently been registered in the Department of Motor Traffic, only 6 million vehicles have been registered through the QR code system. Accordingly, the vehicles which have not obtained revenue licenses for more than 5 years continuously will be removed from the information system with the help of district motor vehicle inspectors, he said.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight, residents of Anuradhapura said that byroads of the Urban Council's housing scheme in Abia Place at Anuradhapura is severely dilapidated condition. They requested the relevant authorities to renovate the road network. This for the attention of the Commissioner of Urban Council in Anuradhapura. That came to in Watchlight. And on to world news. In India, Kerala, at least 21 dead as boat capsizes. Texas mall shooting, heavily armed gunman identified as a 33-year-old. Vietnam records highest ever temperature of 44.1 Celsius. At least 21 people have died after a packed tourist boat capsized in India's southern Kerala state. Death toll could rise. The rescue efforts are underway on Monday as vessel is pulled out from muddy waters. Overcrowding caused the double-decker boat to capsize, Abdul Nazar, Junior Superintendent of Police of Malapura district, told Reuters. The boat was reportedly carrying about 50 people or double the capacity when it overturned last night. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed condolences on Twitter, saying he was pained by the loss of the lives. Texas authorities have named a heavily armed gunman who killed 8 people, including children, at Dallas shopping mall as Mauricio Garcia, aged 33. The man from Dallas himself was shot dead by a police officer who was attending to a different call in the area. The gunman on Saturday's attack used AR-15 style rifle and wore combat gear. President Joe Biden said investigations quoted by U.S. media say he may have had far-right links, as suggested by a clothing patch he wore. Vietnam has recorded its highest ever temperature just over 44 Celsius, with experts predicting it would soon be surpassed because of climate change. The record was set in the northern province of Thanh Hoa, where officials warned people to stay indoors during the hottest times of the day. Other countries in the region have also been experiencing extremely hot weather. Thailand reported record quelling 44.6 Celsius in its western Mak province. Meanwhile, Myanmar's media reported that town in the east had recorded 48.8 Celsius, the highest temperature for a decade. And back to the headlines of the world news. In India, Kerala, at least 21 dead as boat capsizes. Texas mall shooting, heavily armed gunman identified as a 33-year-old. Vietnam records highest ever temperature of 44.1 Celsius. That was world news.
Development news.
In development news, Sri Lanka State Board has handed over the plan for adding renewable energy projects to the main generation plan for 2027-2030 to the Minister of Power and Energy, Kanchana Wijesekara. The report prepared by the committee developed the way forward of integration of renewable energy resources to the national grid from the year 2027-2030 was presented to the subject minister last week. That came to in development news. And we move on to sports news. Today, the second day of the National Junior Athletic Meet being held at Diagama Mahindra Paksa Playground. Solo athletes of the Amangamu Madhyama Vidyalaya have placed several new records at the hurdle events. The first match T20 series between Sri Lanka women team and the Bangladesh team will be played at SSC grounds in Colombo tomorrow. 3 T20 matches are to be played between the two nations. Arrangements have been made to conduct the second and third T20 match on Thursday and Friday. That was sports news.
Go ekakthiyana youth කට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීත හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set සෙට් වෙන ෆ්‍රෙන්ඩ්ෂිප් එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Ceylon Bank began the new fiscal year on a strong note, Q1 2023 recording profit before tax of 1.7 billion rupees when compared to 1.5 billion rupees in first quarter 2022, demonstrating a robust growth of 17.26%. Contributing significantly to the bank's profit momentum was a surge in net interest income by 67.98% for the period under review. That was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න. ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න. youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news, a trade fair and exhibition to encourage women entrepreneurs in Madhya with the participation of local and foreign people was held during the Secretariat office recently. The aim of this program is to enhance the economy of people in the area. That came to in economic news.
Weather report.
Met Department says showers and showers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, central, northwestern, southern and northwestern provinces and in the Trincomalee district. Showers and showers will occur at several places elsewhere over the island, particularly during the afternoon or night. Strong winds about 40 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the western and southern coastal areas and in the western slopes or the central hills. The public are requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during thunder showers. And back to the headlines of the news. The Prime Minister says that a clear plan is needed for the state and private sector to overcome the challenges. Landslide warnings issued for 4 districts, fishing and naval communities alerted of rough seas and high winds. Opposition leaders say Samarkand Alberegia is the only alternative for the country. Many paddy varieties that can reap high harvest has been introduced. It has been stated that opportunities have been made to achieve many victories to the country. 20th session of the Joint Commission between Sri Lanka and the European Union will be convened tomorrow. In world news, India, Kerala, at least 21 dead as boat capsizes. And with that, we end this afternoon's news broadcast.